So Parker has asked me to come over all the way from Australia to help him with his new Alaskan operation, which is not quite ready to go yet. So in the meantime, he needs me to come over and help him here on the Indian River on his Yukon claim.
If you've ever wondered how heavy industry managers balance insane deadlines, rookie training, really dangerous machinery, and millions of dollars on the line, well, you're in the right place.
I feel like a little bit of fish out of water just because I'm not used to this style of mining. So this is going to be a huge learning curve for me.
So let's break down exactly how a functional team survives and thrives when the stakes are literally buried in the dirt. Here is how this shift is going to play out. 1. The Yukon Blitz Deadline. 2. Training under extreme pressure. 3. Navigating steep terrain safely. 4. Surviving a pre-wash jam. And 5. Hitting the gold hotspot. All right, Section 1, the Yukon Blitz Deadline, racing the water license. To really understand the split-second decisions made by this crew, you have to understand the massive ticking clock hanging over their heads. We are talking about 90 acres. Parker's crew is attempting to mine out this massive 90-acre expanse of earth before their water license expires at the very end of the season. And in the mining world, no water means no wash plant, and no wash plant means absolutely zero gold. Trying to clear 90 acres in a short Yukon summer is a massive physical undertaking, and it forces the crew to operate at this all-out blitz pace just to meet these incredibly tight seasonal deadlines. It's basically a logistical nightmare that sets the stage for everything we're about to discuss. Because of this insane 90-acre deadline, the crew is stretched incredibly thin. They need hands, and honestly, more importantly, they need recruits who can multitask on the fly. This brings us to Tyler Mahoney, a rookie flown in all the way from Australia to help out. She's facing a huge learning curve because she's thrown straight into the deep end, first having to figure out the rock truck and then immediately needing to step up to even heavier machinery. Experienced crews rely so heavily on these quick recruits to fill gaps. The deadline just demands versatility. You can't just do one job, you have to adapt, and you have to do it fast. Moving on to Section 2, training under extreme pressure, veteran versus rookie. When your crew is stretched to the absolute limit, on-the-job training isn't just some nice luxury, it's a critical operational requirement. Veteran Goldroom expert Chris Duman is forced to step back into a loader, but the second Tyler shows she's competent in the rock truck, he pulls her over to level up her skills. Listen to how Chris instructs her. He says, drop the arm, this is the hydraulics, just take a buzz around, don't overthink it. The crucial thing to notice here is the stark contrast between the chaotic environment around them and his instruction. Chris's teaching style is incredibly calm. It's procedural, it's grounded. He just gives her the raw mechanics and explicitly gives her permission to buzz around without overthinking. And this is exactly how experienced crew members train and support new recruits during high-pressure operations, without inducing panic. But then we get this brilliant look at the other side of the coin, the rookie's actual internal experience. While Chris is totally calm, Tyler's inner monologue is just racing. She's thinking, I'm just going to take this so freaking slow. Oh my God, this is steep. She is actively fighting her natural instincts, constantly reminding herself not to grab for a steering wheel that isn't even there, but to rely entirely on the joysticks and hydraulics. Acknowledging this psychological weight is so vital. Fear and nerves are completely natural when maneuvering a massive heavy loader. Overcoming those nerves while respecting the machine's immense power, that is exactly what high-stakes training looks like in real time. Section 3, navigating steep terrain safely, the loader protocol. Tyler's first major test in the loader isn't just driving around on some flat, easy ground. It's scooping a completely full bucket of pay dirt and carrying it up an incredibly steep ramp. Chris breaks this down into a really strict visual and physical safety protocol to prevent a catastrophic rollover. Step 1, start out looking over the top of the bucket as you approach the incline. Step 2, as the angle changes, physically shift your vision to look under the bucket. And Step 3, raise the bucket incrementally as you ascend. This isn't just about visibility, guys, it's pure physics. As the loader climbs a steep ramp, its center of gravity shifts drastically backwards. If that bucket isn't raised as you go, the machine can dig in, lose balance, and you risk a deadly backward roll. It's this precise life or death dance of hydraulics and spatial awareness. But you know what? Arguably, the absolute most important part of this training is the final instruction Chris gives before leaving her to it. He tells her, if you get in a pickle, call. Don't try to push through it. I really want you to take this away from today's explainer, whether you work in an office building or an actual gold mine. In high-stakes environments, ego is what gets people hurt. Pushing through a problem you don't fully understand with heavy machinery destroys equipment and threatens lives. Knowing exactly when to stop and ask for help, that is the ultimate mark of a reliable team player. Section 4, surviving a pre-wash jam, seconds from disaster. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the big machines, But at the absolute heart of the operation, the continuous processing plant faces these micro-level mechanical failures that can literally derail that entire 90-acre goal in minutes. The plant they're using, which they call Big Red, has a very small pre-wash. This is the initial washing area where water first hits the dirt before it reaches the main shaker deck. Because of its small size, this pre-wash is highly vulnerable to getting plugged up by huge boulders that happen to slip past the grizzly bars, which are basically these giant, heavy-duty metal grates specifically designed to filter out the biggest rocks. So here is exactly how this crisis unfolds and how they fix it. Large rocks manage to slip through those grizzly bars, immediately plugging up that tiny pre-wash. The whole plant is quite literally seconds away from being completely buried. That's a disaster that would require shutting everything down, breaking out the hand shovels, and losing hours of precious processing time. But Tyler, who is keeping a super close watch, spots the jam instantly and radios it in. Rather than doing a full emergency shutdown, Tyson kills the dirt feed, but, and this is key, he leaves the water jets running. This rapid response flushes the blockage out naturally, saving them hours of grueling shoveling and fiercely protecting their daily gold production goals. As the team noted, this amazing save ultimately comes down to having eyes everywhere. Tyler wasn't even the one running the plant, she was operating nearby, but her sheer vigilance caught the bottleneck before it went critical. This is a brilliant illustration of how seamless team coordination directly increases the yield during these intensive gold recovery shifts. The wash plant isn't just the plant operator's problem, right? It's everybody's problem. Rapid spotting, paired with that quick, experienced flushing technique, is what kept the dirt moving. And finally, Section 5, hitting the gold hotspot, the ultimate payoff. So what does all this unbelievable stress actually yield? Well, compare the metrics. Normally, the specific area they are mining, which they call the keyhole cut, averages around 175 ounces of gold a week. But because they rapidly solved those bottlenecks, kept the plant running flawlessly, and pushed right through their operational hurdles, they were able to process dirt from a highly concentrated localized hotspot. The result? A staggering 448.95 ounces in a single week. That single week's haul alone is worth over $800,000. I mean, wow. By keeping the machinery moving and operating safely, they capitalized on this hotspot to almost double their entire season total in just 7 days, bringing them up to 974.6 ounces. Hitting these gold hotspots and having the incredibly tight coordinated operations required to process them without delays is exactly how they prove they can meet those totally non-negotiable seasonal production deadlines. So what is the core takeaway from all of this? Simply put, trust and rapid problem solving secure the season. You can have the absolute richest dirt in the entire Yukon, but if your rookie rolls a loader or your pre-wash gets buried under tons of rock because nobody was paying attention, that gold just stays in the ground. The crew absolutely smashed their goals because a veteran trusted a rookie to learn, the rookie trusted the veteran to guide her, and the whole team trusted each other to be the eyes everywhere when things inevitably went wrong. Which brings me to a final question I want to leave all of you with. How does your team handle high-pressure bottlenecks before they bury the operation? Seriously, think about the pre-wash jams in your own line of work. Do you have a solid rapid response protocol for them, or are you constantly breaking out the shovels after the fact? Reflect on that as you go about your day. Thanks so much for joining me for this master